Do you go live or?
Yeah, so I think you were gonna say if I go live, but I press
Yeah.
record and then I put it on the page slash YouTube after.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I do there, Kevin.
Cool, cool,
But
cool.
I'm joined tonight by Kevin Hughes. A lot of you guys see him on the Rod Peterson show, and I think you guys are just on YouTube now. I was on Game TV yesterday on my day off, and you guys weren't on there, and not sure what's going on, but
Th- They're changing things up over at Game Plus TV, the television network there. And I think Rod was saying they're going to be off it for all of May, but then in June they're going to put us back on, but they're not
okay,
sure what time or
great,
so who knows?
yeah. And then you are also you're the Hughes Sports podcast, father-son duo
You
through
betcha. My
him.
son and I started this podcast, more of a joke, to be honest. We were
Okay.
watching something. I forget what we were watching. It was some podcast on TV. And I looked at him, I'm like, these guys suck. Like, we could do better than this. And he challenged me. He goes, okay, let's do it.
Right
And
on.
I'm like, fuck, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we did. And that was, geez, what has it been now? Over 3 years that we've been doing it. It's cool. It's being such a big fan of sports
Mhm.
and now seeing the back end of it. We got full press passes for the Grey Cup last year. And so to be able to go behind the scenes at
Great.
the lower, the big one for me was just so cool. We met so many cool people. Got to interview, I mean, I personally got to interview Nathan Rourke one-on-one for like 10 minutes. Such a cool experience.
That's awesome. And as you say that, I remember you're saying you're going to make your way down to Winnipeg and being out of town. I remember when the Grey Cup was there in '06. I never missed a night and life looked kind of different, no kids, everything else. I did make it in for the James Duffy book signing. McNally Robinson was able to get him on the podcast and he kind of
Oh,
joked.
nice.
Don't you guys have Grey Cup stuff to go to? But um, we can kind of get into this, and it kind of feels like the Grey Cup. I was at my son's baseball practice today, and I was all long sleeved up in a different, I'm letting that one warm up as I put another one on. But rookie camp started today. There is so much talk about the CFL, and I find it so funny because
It's
we live in this world where we don't pack the stadiums anymore. And but yet when there's rule changes, they want Stuart Johnson fired and they want everything done and they want um they want a commuter train from Winnipeg to Regina to make the Labor Day trip easy. I don't know, like I don't know what the commissioner's supposed to do.
It's you're literally in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Did changes have to be made? Yeah, I think so. I like most of the changes he's made. I'm not a fan of going to the 100-yard field. I have a feeling that's a more of a for the future, I'll say.
Mhm.
I got big crap when I said they were Americanizing the game. And let's face it, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're making it a 100-yard field. They
Yeah,
brought in the 35-second clock. The reason for the 100-yard field, the 110-yard field won't fit in a lot of stadiums in the US.
that's right.
So are they looking for an expansion? I sure hope so, because if not, all these changes are dumb.
They definitely are, and again, with we think a TV deal is coming, but we're not exactly sure how it's going to look. Somebody kind of let me know through the grapevine, and maybe it won't all be TSN. And there's been all this speculation, and since this is on a podcast, I'll just kind of keep it at that. But it's just we're kind of in this unique time, and I think the U.S. expansion. Okay, I was a teenager when that happened. I think it would look a lot different now in 2026 than it would when it was with the Las Vegas policy and Shreveport Pirates and all that in 92, 93, 94,
Yeah.
whatever, right? So, do you see a future for the CFL in the US?
I do, and a lot of people are gonna crap on me because of it, but I think it's the way to go. I mean, we've talked, I mean, I'm 61 years old. I can remember being 20 talking expansion in this league, and it's like, oh my gosh, my head hurts just to think about it.
Right.
If there was possible to expand in Canada, I would think it would have happened by now.
Right.
It's been 40 freaking years that we've talked about that. Think about that. 4 decades that we've talked about expansion in Canada.
Yeah.
We expanded in the States. Did it work? No, it was a failure. It was an utter failure. But you're right. I think if they do it now, they can learn from the experience that they had, and I think it's the way to go. It's really, we need this league to have a professional league with 9 teams. It's hard to defend. It's just all my buddies, they're all NFL fans, and they look down and they see, oh, you got a little league with like 9 players. And I'm like, yeah, that's our little league that's been around for 115 freaking years. You shut up. I will defend my CFL to the day I die. Um, Now, where does that expansion comes from? All you got to do is turn a TV or a radio on in the States. They're football crazy.
Yeah.
We could put it anywhere. Anywhere the NFL isn't, you could put a CFL team. Now, do you go down and put 10 teams all at once? No, no, no. You put two or three, and then you build it from that.
Right.
Um, when? 4, 5 years from now, maybe. That's what got you and I talking when we was the whole playoff structure being changed. 8 teams out of 9 make the playoffs. Is it ideal? No, it sucks. But I love it just for the fact right now you win one game and you're in the Grey Cup. Man, that sucks. And I've said it for decades. That sucks. Yeah, you finish first in your division, you win one game, and that's it. Come on, it's a 9 team league. How hard is it to finish first? Not that hard. It really isn't. So now you have to win two, if not three. And people are like, oh yeah, but you're going to have that eighth place team. They could win. If they win 4 games in a row, they're going to win the cup. Pretty impressive if they can win 4 playoff games in a row. So is it ideal? No. But the idea is bring it in now, get it set up, and then when the expansion happens, you don't exceed, hopefully, you don't expand how many teams get in the playoffs. You leave it at the 8. Now you got 12 teams. 4 don't make the, that's not bad now. Now
Mhm.
we're talking.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said earlier. If expansion doesn't happen, then this is all done. This makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's why everybody says why everybody kind of wants to know the why, and the why isn't really being said, and that's gets you and I talking and a lot of other people talking. What is this all about? Right? And so it's and the CFL purists, Bob Irving, he put on Twitter, I'll have a wake for the 55-yard line. And I had a buddy of mine, we went out for lunch, and I found myself where I sit at the stadium with the Bombers. I kind of found myself like there's not a lot of action happening at the one. Like I feel like my neck is kind of turned, and then I'm like, I mean, I can deal with it. I'll go see my chiropractor. I don't care. Like, but you know what I mean? Like again, as long as they don't mess with the width, like I'm fine with that. But
Yes.
I've been to an NFL stadium, and it's like there ain't much room. And so,
No. And I
you
mean, leave the waggle in there. Leave the width. Leave the extra player. That's the Canadian game. Do I want the 55-yard line? Yes. I had season tickets. I lived in Calgary for many years. I had for about 8, 10 years. I had season tickets sitting on the 55-yard line.
Mhm.
Um, I have an issue with it now because all of a sudden I'm going to be at the 50, but the guy that had the cheap seats at the 20, where is he going to be? He's going to be at the goal line now.
Yeah,
What the hell? What do you
yeah,
do with those empty seats? Like, there's going to be a lot of it's. I don't think they thought it through. I get why they're doing it. They can't talk about it, and everybody's like, "Oh, they would talk." No, it's if they actually came out and said, "We're going to expand in the States." Now there's too much pressure, and
yeah,
as a business, you want teams coming to you to the league.
yeah,
And that's what Johnson said at a press conference. We want owners to come to us.
yeah,
So if you say we're gonna expand to the States, that's our plan. Well, now you've dealt your hand. You're playing poker and your whole hand is face up and you're still betting. kind of dumb. Um, Keep that quiet. Teams are from the US are paying attention. Guaranteed there's billionaires or millionaires in the States going, hee 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 hee, we can make some money. And it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yep, that's exactly it. And there's way more national coverage. I remember when we used to watch ESPN and Chris Berman, and he would have CFL highlights. We would be like, okay, well, he gets it. He understands, right? And it's like amazing. And I remember I was at the Chris Berman press conference. He talked about talking to Bill Parcells how Montreal went for it on third down. This is a game that happened 20 years ago or 19 years ago,
Yes,
and they did what? Like, and these conversations take place, and there's just more coverage out there. Like, it's all on our phones,
everything.
right?
And if the rumors are true and TSN's going to keep the broadcasting rights along with a non-traditional feed, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
If that's the case, wow, that really opens up the US market, doesn't it?
it definitely does, right? There was the CBS Sports Network. Games were on ESPN, ESPN2. Lots of guys say, well, it's hard to get it down here. You talk to the former CFL players, but what? It ain't that far to open up that Pandora's box, in my opinion, right? So, and I think the CFL game, and I think we're from the same same page here. I think the CFL game's fantastic.
Oh, I hate the CFL. Can't you tell? Where is it? It's on this side. I hate the CFL. No, obviously, I'm a diehard CFL fan. Have been. I grew up blocks away from the old Empire Stadium, if you're old enough to remember it,
Yeah,
in East Vancouver. I can remember when I was a kid, we used to have three old Dutch potato chip bags. And you'd get in and you'd sit underneath on the grass hill underneath the clock. That's how I fell in love with this game.
nice.
Um, and it's just been a passion since. So it's funny because you're talking to my buddies, they'll be like, yep, Kevin's going to have a heart attack watching a BC Lions game. That's how he goes because I get excited. It's a fun thing. I watch an NFL game. I'm a football fan. I'll watch an NFL game. Seattle's my team.
Right.
I just find it not as exciting. I think the CFL is just a better game.
hmm Yeah, because in the NFL, comebacks are way more predictable.
Yes.
They've become more predictable over the last 30 years. There are particular, okay, well, this is, everybody talks about the miracle at the Meadowlands and that with the Jamboree play, whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like, but now, like, yeah, CFL, it's wire to wire entertainment. So I got to ask you, as a Lions fan, the the play to Flutie, McManus to Flutie play in '94. So where were you, and were you at the Grey Cup in BC Place in '94?
I was not at the Grey Cup in '94. Believe it or not, I wasn't. I was at my buddy's place, and it's funny, I'm having a flashback. I'm at my buddy's place. Burke Broadway has long since gone, crossed over and to the other side.
Hmm.
My best friend in the world by far, and he always had Grey Cup. That was his. We always went to his place for Grey Cup, and it's like I can actually see that play happening. It's just right.
Wow.
Just, oh, are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, Not too many games I missed. I didn't go to a lot well, as an adult, like you were saying, you have kids and your priorities change. But I watched, I don't think I've missed more than a handful of games in my life, to be honest, watching him on TV, going back even as far as listening to him on the radio. That would be a blast for me. I'd lay on the floor as a kid and have the radio on and listen to games. It was crazy. Yeah.
Nice. It's awesome. That yeah, in some ways, that's I mean, shoot, that's over 30 years ago. So yeah, thanks for sharing that memory. Grey Cup, I guess BC won the Grey Cup here in Winnipeg in '06
Yep.
with Wally Bono. Dave Ritchie was the assistant, was head coach in '94. Um, what were some of your memories of that game?
Whew. Very little. You know what? I'm trying to remember. I'm like, what? I know we won in 2006, 2011. I don't remember a whole lot of that game, to be
Mhm.
blunt. There might have been alcohol involved. I'm just saying. By this time, I'm living in Calgary, and there might have been a little bit of alcohol involved in during that game.
That's all good. I was in the south end zone and it was freezing cold. But
That's funny.
that's I just always want to get people fans reactions to their teams winning and that sort of thing. Um, so where do you kind of to get back on the CFL train of things? Where do you kind of see the CFL's growth? Again, if you're saying these changes are, you know, there has to be a reason and the why. Where do you kind of see the CFL maybe in 10, 5, 10, 15 years from now?
I could see like when you're looking at what they're doing with like the touchdown Atlantic, the touchdown Pacific, I think they called it. Now they're doing the games in Kelowna. Could Kelowna support a team? Could the Okanagan of BC support a team? I think so. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, I think they could. Um, are they going to get 40,000 people at a game? No, but you build a 25,000, 30,000 seat stadium, and they're going to be able to fill that, especially during the summertime in Kelowna. That would be a huge draw because you got to remember, you're not just drawing Kelowna, you're drawing that whole Okanagan basin there, which is huge. But I honestly think it's going to be um, south of the border, and I'm thinking like real close. Like I'm not going down the far down south. I'm hanging right at the border. There's a lot of small, medium-sized towns, I'll say, that are dying for football. They're begging for football. We would fit that bill. We being the CFL would fit that bill really, really nice. Um, you get into Montana, even into Washington, in around closer to Seattle, north of Seattle area, Puget Sound. You could put a team in there, especially now with them moving the start date up till Victoria Day, because now you're not really competing that much with the NFL. Everybody's like, oh, but you're going to be competing with the NHL playoffs. We play 3 dates a week. We play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday most of the time. It's not that big of a deal in my books. I've been a proponent of moving, starting earlier. People like, well, obviously you've never been to Calgary or Regina in April. I'm like, yeah, I have, and I've been there in November, and it's really cold. So I would rather play in April than November.
Yes, well, that's exactly it. And I remember last year the Bombers had a home game, and I think it was game four of the finals. And everybody, go, well, what about if the Jets were playing at home that day? Well, they weren't. And guess what? The game was still sold out,
Right?
and it drives me nuts because I think CFL fans, and I'm going to align here with Rod a bit. I think they complain the most.
Oh, 100%. And what other sport do you have where there's a game and nobody actually talks about the score with the plays? It's, did you see the empty seats in the stands?
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't have a discussion with a CFL fan, quotation marks, without them commenting, oh, Calgary doesn't have the fans. No, Calgary has a shitty stadium. That's why they don't have the fans. I've been there. I stopped buying season tickets because it's the worst stadium I've ever had to sit in.
Yeah.
They get a new stadium, they're going to bring the fans back. So CFL fans love to bitch. It's I don't know what it is. I don't maybe it's our the age demographic of the average CFL fan is probably above 45, 50, and we're getting old and crockety. I don't know.
Well, because I did the math. So I have four season tickets. I say to my
Yep.
kids, you can bring a friend, alternate the games. So with them having an extra game, I'm at just under $64 a game. If they get to the playoff, granted they get that a game, okay? So that's all calculated. And I'm thinking I take my family of four to a junior A game here in Steinwick. It was 71 bucks for a playoff
right?
game.
It's
Okay, so I'm not getting home at midnight. The snacks are relatively the same,
yes.
and I'm still here. And it just it, it,
It's
it's asinine. It's
dollar for dollar, it's the best entertainment you're going to get. There is
it,
no comparison.
right. It's absolutely ridiculous. And in Winnipeg, they've made it an event. They got the bounce, they got everything going on. They got the tailgating is encouraged. And what I will say with Saskatchewan in particular, like I remember as a kid growing up, like Taylor Field was never empty. So when I watch and I'm like, oh, my heart kind of hurts. So
Yes.
it genuinely does because I know what it was, and I would like them to get back to where they were.
But a lot of times, I mean, you're looking, going to get myself in caca here with the CFL, but oh well. If you're looking, I mean, you're looking at teams that are averaging the 25, 30,000 plus. You're looking at Winnipeg. I've been to two games in Winnipeg now. I went to a game in October. It wasn't even the Lions. I forget who it was. We were there for another reason. Anyways, the atmosphere, it was a mean nothing game.
Yeah.
It was literally a mean nothing game. Winnipeg had locked up first place. I think it was 3 years ago. Winnipeg locked up first place, and it was such a fun experience. There was like eight, nine of us that went. None of us being Winnipeg. One lady was a Winnipeg fan. Nobody else was a Winnipeg fan, and we had a blast. The party beforehand, they had live music. The beers were cheap. It was like you could buy beer for $5 or $6. And I looked around, and what amazed me, they were all college aged.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what the CFL needs to get back to. Saskatchewan starting to get back to it. They took their fans for granted for way too long. And that's why they're in the situation they are now. They were selling out, they would suck. I mean, let's face it, they were probably one of the worst teams in the league, and they would still sell out.
Yeah.
And for a decade or more, the owners took it for granted, the management group, and just didn't invest in anything new. Now they're realizing, oh crap, I think in the next 2 years you're going to see that turnaround. Look at the BC Lions. You look what Amor Doman is doing in BC. Do they need a new stadium in BC? Hell yeah. They got to get out of BC Place. It's a horrible spot to play. I mean, it's one of the nicest stadiums to sit in,
Yeah.
but as a business, it's not good for the owner because they get very little of the concession. It's so one-sided there that you look at the Whitecaps. Whitecaps are looking to move because of it. So
Mm.
but Omar Doma is putting his money where his mouth is. You look at those opening games, the home openers, where he's bringing in top name bands and filling that place, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Montreal, same way. They're really turning around. I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see this league take on a whole new look where I'm not the average aged anymore. And right now, I mean, I'm literally at 60, between that 50 and 65. That's who's going to the games anywhere but Winnipeg. And you're going to see now that it's going to start changing and they're going to start bringing in that younger crowd again.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agree. I remember going to a game on holidays to BC Place, and my wife just dropped my son and I off, and we kind of scooted in there, and then she picked us up, and I mean, it's right beside where the Canucks play and whatever else. And I don't know, maybe Ryan Reynolds will get behind something there. I know he wants to bring baseball to Vancouver. So
Yeah, like there's got to be something, and it's just the same thing up in Calgary. I mean, you look at that stadium in Calgary, how the CFL allowed Calgary to host the Grey Cup 2026. Um, it just that stadium is so bad. The final straw for me, we were at a game. It was August. It was a little chilly. Must have been late August, and it was a little bit of a chilly game. So my son and I went up to grab a hot chocolate. We left right at the halftime. The whistle blew, we got up, we went, stood in line. We didn't get back until halfway through the third quarter. Like just so bad. And it's not like they have a lot it's not like it's full. That's not, it's just a horrible, the whole thing is so antiquated. There is talk they're talking about putting a new stadium down by the arena where the new arena is being built. There is chatter. I'm hoping it takes off because Calgary fans will support the team. They have in the past, but they need a stadium. And I mean, you look at the teams that are doing well. Winnipeg, one of the best stadiums I've been to besides BC Place. I like the atmosphere in Winnipeg better. I haven't been to a game here in Saskatchewan yet. I think we're going on June 13th. BC's
Nice.
playing Saskatchewan, and I think we're going to go to that one. Um, Hopefully, I don't get too beat up wearing my Lions gear.
You'll be all right. I had my sign ripped up once when I was 24. Yeah. It was Sellers was the combine, the Riders of the wheat, and it got ripped up. So Mike Sellers played.
I love it. Well,
Yeah,
you've heard the term Smurf Mafia, right?
I believe I have, yes.
I started that. It was such a funny thing. It was 2 years ago, 3 years ago on the Rod Pederson show, and it just came out. You know, you just yakking, you doing this smack talk about a team, and I think the BC was playing Winnipeg, and their fans were chirping on the chat, and I'm like, look at the Smurf Mafia. They're just yak 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 yak, and it's stuck. And Rod has been pushing that so much.
Nice. But that's good. Like that's what you want the CFL to be. You kind of want. Then when you get to the Grey Cup, it's kind of like when everybody comes to watch the Brier or the Scotties, and now they got the Page playoff, so it's all good.
Yes. I mean, it's anybody that's not been to a Grey Cup, sounds like you've been to a few. I've been to one, went to one in Edmonton. Then I went to the Grey Cup in Vancouver a couple of years back, and then I was at the Grey Cup, of course, in Winnipeg this last year. And man, there's something special about the CFL crowd for a Grey Cup. Um, it's you see every age group, you see every team. It doesn't matter if your team's not in there. They're Hamilton. Hamilton seems to always have a big contingent
Yes,
of
they do.
fans at Grey Cups. I
Yeah,
don't know the last time Hamilton's been in a Grey Cup, but they seem to always be. Their fans seem to really love them.
2020.
Um, so, but it's if you haven't been to a Grey Cup, man, go to a Grey Cup. Calgary's going to be a good place. I think Calgary's going to put a party on. Vancouver took it to a different level when we were there. It was amazing. Winnipeg just did a phenomenal job, and I got to see it from the back end, which was really cool.
Mhm.
I think Calgary's even though their stadium sucks, I think that festival is going to be the one to attend. Calgary knows how to put on a party. They know how to do it up right. They do it every year with the Stampede, and it's just they're just going to expand on it. And I'm trying to think of the president's name in Calgary. I'm blank on his name, but I know he is looking to take it to a different level. Gosh dang it, he was on our show. I know him. I blank. He'll come to me at 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, sometimes it happens that way, right? It's like, okay, it's in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, totally, right? When you bring up Calgary, I personally, when the Bombers won there in 2019, it rivals a lot of those memories, and Winnipeg kind of invaded Calgary for that weekend and for that Sunday, and yeah, when you go to a Grey Cup, like when my kids were there, they it was a different look. Like they just kind of took it in differently than a regular game, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just sport, but it's something that you want to build a tradition. It is truly a Canadian thing, and I just want to do my part to pass it down to that generation.
Yes, you know what? That's one thing that I'm just so proud of. My son is 32, and he's a diehard CFL fan and a diehard Canuck fan. I feel bad that I made him a Canuck fan. I often apologize to him for making him a Canuck fan because we call it our abusive relationship. They abuse us, they abuse us. We just keep going back for more because that's what we do as Canuck fans. Uh, but it's cool when you have your son being that invested in the same teams that you are.
Mhm.
There's just something special about that.
Yeah, so maybe let's transition. I'm trying to do the quick math. So he was probably what, 15 when they lost in 2011, right?
When they won in
Or
2011?
when they lost in 2011, if he's
Oh, you mean the
22.
Canucks?
The Canucks,
Oh, my dude. He was 18 years old.
18. Okay.
Yeah, grade 12. Um, some of the best memories of hockey that I'll ever have is that run with, and it's because of my son. 18, we're in Alberta, so he's legal age to drink.
Hmm.
And I don't know how it started, but we had a bottle of um, tequila, this pink tequila, oh, what is it called? Creamy pink tequila stuff. I can't even think of the name of it. So every time Houston said hard around, we would have to do a shot. Well, holy crap, he says hard around a lot during a game. So it was um, it was the final against Boston, game 5.
Yes.
And one of my wife's friends always came over and watched every game. She was a big hockey fan. And she was outside having a smoke. My wife was outside with her. And they were fighting. Someone was punching at, I think it was Bieksa. And all we kept, I kept yelling, "We want blood!" We were screaming really loud. Doors are open. It's a nice day. So about 2 minutes left in the second period, there was that banging at my front door. And I'm like, what the hell? So I go out and we had a big bay window in our living room. And I grab our dog because our dog's going crazy. And Jake opens the door and there's a cop standing like this in the window. And there's another cop at the front door with his hand on his gun. And he's like, "What's going on in here?" And I'm like, nothing. We're just watching the game. Of course, we've had a few at this point. So remember, there's 2 minutes left in the second period. I want to go back and watch the game because it's in the family room.
Right.
So he's like, "We got to report you were beating your wife." And all I could think of saying was, "Why would I do that? She's a Canuck fan." And you could literally see it because now we're in Airdrie, by the way. We're in Calgary, just
Yeah.
outside of Calgary. So Calgary's long out of the playoffs. Nobody's watching hockey around us. And the cop looks, he goes, "You're watching a hockey game." And I went, "Yeah, come on in." So I just take off and go back in the family room. He comes in, and because it was a domestic call, they have to take all our information. So he wants my driver's license. And I put my hand up, and as I put my hand up, my wife snaps a picture. So there's a cop talk. He's obviously talking. I've got my hand up and I'm looking over at the TV watching the game. This gets posted onto social media and goes frickin' viral. Next day, I get a call from CBC. They want to do a story on us. So I pulled Jake out of school so he can be interviewed by CBC. This is why this is like just the ultimate. When people talk about 2011, yeah, it was shitty. We lost in game 7. We're not in Vancouver. Everybody's giving us the gears because we lost. And then we turn the TV back on and they're rioting and tearing up town apart, and it sucked. It sucked big time. But that memory of that playoff run with my son will be embedded in my freaking memory forever.
Right. I mean, we all know how they had the 3-0 lead versus Chicago. Morrow with the seven overtime goal. I mean, just crazy stuff. I mean, San
Yes.
Jose series.
Just and it's just one of I mean, Luongo just doing the Luongo thing against Boston. It's just like, oh, we were so close. Yeah, we were closer. We 94, I think it was. Canucks were close
94.
as well. doesn't, I mean, I had my buddies and we watched the games, obviously, but
Right.
that 2011 run will be remembered. And people still talk about the pitcher. It's still brought up in our friends group. Every year it pops up on my Facebook and I just laugh and laugh. Just one of those stories that you had to be there to really experience because this
Mhm.
cop, like he was freaking ready to pull. He was like, I'm just like, dude, no, she's a Canuck fan. Why would I beat her?
Oh, that's good. Uh, speaking of the Canucks,
Oh yeah, sure, bring it up.
the so you're watching the draft lottery. You kind of joked with me about a week prior that okay, my Canucks will probably lose and everything else. And what do you kind of make of this? Because I was like, I kind of jumped off the couch. I'm a kind of a hidden. I'm more of a Jets fan now than Leafs fan, but I kind of jumped off the couch. People were texting me. I,
Well,
I can't believe that the Leafs won the first considering the press conference. Maybe Steve Simmons put an extra ball in there. I don't know.
like, how do
Yeah,
you? It's just one
this
of
is
those
crazy.
things. It's they probably make the worst hire in NHL history, at least in the last decade or two.
Right.
It is. I mean, this guy is just not a good man. Like, I didn't know him from Adam until that press conference, and then I started going down the rabbit hole. And I mean, you got Bessonette coming out, and he was just seething about it. This guy just doesn't sound like a good man. So you make the worst hire ever and 3 days later, you win the lottery when you have 8.5% chance of winning.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We were live. I was live. Jake and were planning to do a live broadcast for our reaction. Ended up Jake took a job. He's working up north now on the rigs, and so he got stuck. It was his day to come out. He was in for 14. It was his day to come out, but then got stuck working until 6:30. So he
Hmm.
couldn't do it. So I jump on by myself and which we don't usually do. As you know, when you're by yourself, it's hard to do a podcast. Try
Yeah.
to talk. Like I say it to Rod Pederson quite often. I'm like, dude, I take my hat off to you because you can talk and talk and oh my, it's hard when you're the host. It's easier when you got somebody to bounce things off with. Anyway, so I'm on there. I am building it up, of course, doing my thing, and when they started drawing the numbers, and when we got down to that last number, we had three numbers that were possible for us. There was one other team with two, and then every other team that was still in it had one number, including Toronto. I didn't even consider Toronto. I never talked about Toronto. It was not even on my radar that they could actually 8.5%. Come, how are they going to win this? It's not going to happen. Didn't even come up in my conversation. And I had my, Sportsnet on my phone, so it's on my desk, and I'm looking at the camera, talking away, and they pull the last ball, and my head goes down, and I went, "Are you?" And I let out an express, a freaking sentence of beep 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 beep. The Toronto Maple Leafs? Are you freaking kidding me? Um, you sports. It's a roller coaster. That's why we love it. We love. I have never been on a roller coaster with ping pong balls before. Uh, but I was like, as high as you could be, I was like, oh my God, we got this. Oh my God, is this actually going to happen? We're going to have Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
I can't believe this rebuild is going to start with Gavin freaking the Toronto Maple Leafs. Are you freaking Gavin can go to Toronto. The problem with Gavin going to Toronto is Marner's how old's not Marner? Who's the number one guy there now? Blank.
Matthews.
Matthews is going to be what, 42, 43 by the time Gavin really comes into his own. It's going
Well,
to
I mean,
pass the window,
yeah, he's a 98 or so. Yeah, so he's 28, right?
right?
Yeah.
It's going to be 3, 4 years before Gavin really becomes that player.
Yeah.
He's going to be too old. He's going to be past his time. So here's what I'm hoping happens. Toronto passes on Gavin. They pick a somebody they can plug and play. San Jose, same boat. They don't need another forward. They need a right-hand defenseman. They're
Mm.
going to choose a right-hand defenseman, and the Canucks pick number three, Gavin freaking McKenna. I know I'm dreaming, but it's a nice dream.
No, that was suggested by a reporter. It's on the page, and it was like, well, the more you think of it, and somebody has suggested maybe the Leafs should trade it to the Jets for Hellebuyck.
Right? Well, and then you look at, I mean, this offseason is going to be really interesting because you look at Edmonton. Nurse has already said he doesn't want to go back there. I can guarantee you, McDavid, he signed a 2 year
Yeah,
with the thought we might be able to we can run it, we can run this. It's not happening.
no.
He's going to pull a Quinn Hughes and say, trade me or I walk. I mean, yes, there's 2 more years, 27, 28, but it's going to be this year he brings that up. And do you want a disgruntled McDavid in your dressing room? Think of what the package you could get for McDavid.
Mm.
Does he go to Toronto?
Well, because he's from Newmarket, right?
Right?
And his parents would only have to take the subway.
It would be, I'm like, wow, what kind of package do they put together bringing him back? Now they have Gavin. If they take Gavin McKenna playing with a McDavid, does that accelerate Gavin McKenna's? There's so many different connotations. As I said to Jake, it's just started and we have until the end of June. I already have a headache thinking of all the different things that possibilities that are going to happen between now and June 26th.
It is phenomenal, right? And again, you go back to that press guy. It's hilarious this week. Um, what's all happening there in Toronto?
Oh,
It is the circus.
they went from wanting to burn it down to planning a parade.
Right. And what I don't understand is you bring back these guys like the Sedins, and you want to put Domi in a role, and you want it was okay. Well, you brought Spezza in with Dubas, and it just it. So you fired Trev Living for this guy?
Yeah, right?
That didn't make no sense.
It's like I say, when I heard it, I was like, well, that's bizarre. Like this guy literally destroyed what was ever possible in Phoenix. Single-handedly destroyed whatever was possible in Phoenix.
Right.
So why? It's baffling to me. As the reporter from the Toronto Sun said, I don't know who you talked to, but I talked to 20 guys, and they all called this guy a sham, charlatan. And I was like,
A salesman.
a salesman, which I took offense to. I must admit, I sold cars for 20 years. I've been a salesman all my life. I kind of was like, oh, why do you have to bring a salesman into it?
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm shipping late night with Smitty hats literally all over the country. So
There you go.
I get you. And it was like Pelly's like, well, I think he wanted. He didn't really know what to do. He was pretty uncomfortable. It was quite something, right? Um, yeah, it was definitely theatrics, and it gets people talking. Right?
Oh yeah. And I mean the reporter, I'm trying to think of the reporter's name. He just doesn't care. He's
No, Steve
on his
Simmons.
way out.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's retiring. He doesn't care.
no,
He's like, I'm gonna speak my mind for the first time, and I'm going to burn it down.
good. Got about 15 minutes left. As I say, always tell people you can come on for a second time. Uh,
Yeah.
who have been some of kind of your mentors and role models in your life, Kevin?
Oh, good question. Sports wise, would be my brothers. They're my get all sentimental. My dad, he passed away when mom was 8 months pregnant with me. I'm the youngest of nine kids. So my oldest brother now is, I always bug him. I'm 61. He would be 78, 79. I always say he's like 95. Um, but all my brothers were big sports fans, so they always took me to games. And I think it was a way mom got rid of me was because you want to go to the game, you have to take Kevin with you. So that was really my indoctrination into games, um, especially with the Canucks. I used to go with one of my older brothers, and he was like the guy standing, screaming, and yelling all the time. That's me now. And I look at my son and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. Because he does the same thing. Like, I can't. And I talked to Rod about it because Rod's a very passive guy when it comes to watching sports. He'll just sit back
Right.
where I can't. I'm like, yeah, I'm jumping out of my seat. That's just, it's in my blood. I can't sit and watch. So, mentor sports would be definitely my brothers. Um, Business wise, I had that guy, general manager when I was selling cars. His name was Jason, younger than me, which is an interesting fact. But um, he was one of those guys that he had been in the car business from, I swear to God, from birth. And he just knew it inside out. He started in the service department, went into the parts department, went into sales, became a general manager. So right from the ground up, he knew the business. And I remember when I first started selling cars, I failed. The first month, I sucked. And I was like, gosh dang it. And I went home and I remember looking at my girlfriend and she said, well, don't they have like a system you're supposed to follow? And I'm like, yeah, I know. Fuck, I've been selling like forever. And I remember talking to Jason about this one day and he looked at me and he says, do me a favor, follow the system for a month. And I was like, fine. And I did. And brag a little bit, but I was number one salesman at that dealership for as long as I was there, just because I listened. And if you can find someone, I don't care how old they are,
Right.
if you can find someone who knows more than you, be a sponge. Be a sponge and just lap it up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. And yeah, you can never stop learning. You know, you get that grade 12 diploma, you go into something else, you keep going. And
Yes.
I've been doing this for 5 years. I like to think I'm better than what I used to be.
Right?
I remember when my first guest was Rod.
Was it?
And I remember watching, and I did it on the phone, and he was in Calgary at the time, and I was like, yeah, I was like sick. I didn't do Zoom, and we had a great time, and it just kind of kept going from there. And it's just conversation, getting people to know people's
Yeah.
stories, right? And that's
And I
what it's
mean,
all about.
as a broadcaster, Rod is by far my mentor. He's a guy I go to ask questions. Um, if you watch us on, I'm on his show every Thursday and Friday, except tomorrow. I'm not there tomorrow. Most Thursdays and Fridays. Um, I mean, I consider him one of my best friends.
Right on.
We met 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. But talk about two people clicking in life. Just insane how we've clicked. He calls me Kevin the Medium, if anybody's ever watched the show.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a real medium. That's what I do now that I retire, that's what I do for a living. And we were at a spiritual fair and he was there. His co-host Darren ditched him. So he ended up coming out. He was in Calgary and he came out to Canmore to this spiritual fair. And like, go figure, a sports fanatic doing spiritual stuff. And who do I meet? The voice of the Riders for 20 years. Like, what are the chances? Like, talk about the universe putting two people together.
Awesome.
And literally, we've talked every day since pretty much. It's just been that kind of relationship.
Wow.
Um, and you can see it when we're on the air together. There's just this automatic chemistry. I've learned so much from him. A lot of it's what not to do. I hope he's listening.
Yeah, I mean, I think he tunes in. I mean, the page is public, so
Yeah. Rod, you know I love you, buddy.
that's
He's
right.
old. He'll be in bed. He's down in Florida. It's like 11:51 there. He's been in
11:51.
bed for 4 hours. He's
Yet there's
watching the
those
replay.
right. Yet there's those nights he was in Tampa for the playoffs, and then he's back on the air in Miami. Gets home at whatever 3 in the morning, and back on the air. I mean, whatever. That's whatever.
The
Well,
lifestyle.
it is. It's wild, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's good. What are your predictions for the CFL season as we kind of wrap it up here? Who do you see?
Well,
Who do you see in the Grey Cup? Do you think Saskatchewan's going to repeat? Do you think the Bombers climb back to the Grey Cup?
I think Saskatchewan is going to be one of the top teams. Um, I've really been paying attention to what BC's doing. Obviously, you can just look over my shoulder and see I'm a diehard BC Lions fan. And yes, that's a cardboard cutout of Mr. Louis Pisaglia. He's been with me for pushing over 25 years now. He has
Mhm.
traveled across from BC to Saskatchewan and he's still kicking. He's a little beat up, but he's still there. I think if I don't think I know Rourke's going to light it up this year. Um, Unfinished business should be their theme because let's face it, that game against the Riders, the semifinal, or was it the final? The
I think,
final.
yeah, the West Final.
West Final. One of the few games I didn't watch, but I was listening. I was on an airplane. My lady lives here in Saskatchewan, and of course she bleeds green. And so I'm in my Lions jersey. She's in her Rider jersey. We sit down on the plane. The guy beside us goes, "Are you guys gonna fight?" We had that game. We should have won that game. Gosh dang it. We should have been the ones in the Grey Cup, which would have been so cool because can you imagine the first time you get a press pass and your team's there? Um, would have been that much cooler, even though it was very, very cool the way it was. And even Jake had said it was probably better that they weren't there because it would have been more of a celebration than work. We went there with the intention of working, except this one night we got carried away with a bunch of Rider and Winnipeg fans at some little Irish bar downtown Winnipeg. It was a mess.
Shannon's Irish Pub.
Yes,
There
that's
you go.
it.
Woo, quick. I know Darren Bombing always brings it up on Bonfire Sports.
It was a mess. It was tequila shots and beer and oh yeah, we were supposed to go live that night and we had to make a post. And I think the post came up on my thing due to alcohol, our show due to alcohol consumption, we will not be having a show tonight.
Yeah,
You know,
what do
being the
you do, eh?
professionals that we are.
Yeah. Uh,
So my predictions, wow, that was a
mhm.
long way around.
Predictions. It's all good.
I'm gonna take BC. I'm gonna take BC taking it all. Um, Hard fought, yes. You're not gonna like me. I think Winnipeg falls off a little bit again this year.
Hmm.
Enough changes. They seem to be relying on their old guard, capital letters old. Um, where everybody else seems to be getting younger, they have stuck with. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It all really comes down to what does Caleres do? Um, a lot of people didn't think he was coming back after that last concussion he had. I remember watching that game, and a lot of the announcers were saying for the sake of his health, we hope he sits. Um, do they know something the rest of us don't? Most likely. They're a pretty tight-knit group. So, yeah, it's going to come down to that. What does Bo do in Hamilton? Does Bo come out and continue being that amazing second life that he's been given out in Hamilton? Um, Bo and I don't see eye to eye. He made a comment in Calgary about wanting to go to Four Downs, so I always refer to him as Four Down Bo.
Yes,
And of
those
course, now
words,
that
eh?
I'm friends with Rod Pederson, Bo doesn't like Rod, so it's just a natural rub off on me. So it's going to be a fun year. I think this year is going to be probably a more competitive than a lot of people think. I am going to say BC versus is the new playoffs coming in this year?
Next year.
Next year. BC versus let's go with Hamilton. I'd love that.
You see
BC
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Hamilton probably should have won that game last year, but you know, yeah, similar stories
Yes.
in both finals, right? But I would suggest Winnipeg relied more on their old guard last year. I think they have made some considerable changes for the
Have they?
they
Who?
got the shutdown corner out of Hamilton. They brought in Tim White. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, they didn't re-sign Dalton Schoen. But I think there's a lot of good momentum there. People were wondering why they didn't make those changes the year before, but I think
Yes.
so. Um, yeah, I don't know. I know they want to get back, but you know everybody else does. So I
It's
agree. It will be a fun year.
I am looking forward to it. It's said to Jake, it's been such a horrible Canucks season, and with our podcast, the Hughes Sports Podcast, we focus on the Canucks, and then we cover the CFL as a whole with a focus on the BC Lions.
Hmm.
Um, when you have to go on the air every week and talk about the Vancouver Canucks, it's painful. It hurts. It's like, how many times can you say our team sucks? I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, we suck. We lost 12-1. We suck. Yeah, okay, we suck. Oh, Quinn Hughes left. Oh, we suck. It's just, I'm done. I'm looking forward to having something positive in my freaking sports life.
Well, and I mean, look, you're going down to Regina for that 13th game on June 13th. There's nothing better than a football trip. I took my kids to the Labor Day Classic in 2024. We stopped at the Saskatchewan sign. Saskatchewan, here we come. I go visit my old stomping grounds there in Caronport. I run into my old grade 8 teacher. On the way back, I stop at my other teacher's place for a
Nice.
meal. And it's just like, I don't know. I think my wife referred to it as my homecoming. But it was like, show my kids. We did the tunnels. Yeah, it was. What else did we
Nice.
do? We did some mini golf. They make it look way better. I won't tell you where we mini golf, but they made it look a lot better on the internet. But it's because I grew up with Maxwell Amusements, right? Rest in peace, Maxwell Amusements. Uh, but but then, again, you must on your way down to Regina, you can stop. And my point is, you stop in these towns, conversations, people you
We
meet.
Yes.
The
You know
key.
what? That's the best part is the road trip there,
Yeah.
right? It's like, yeah, make it an experience. I say life is all about experiences. That's why we decided to come here, is to take in all these experiences. So every experience I can, I'm jumping on it. When you said, "Oh, do you want to come on my podcast?" Yes, I want to come on your podcast. Let's do it. I love experiences. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Anytime, no doubt, right? And so, yeah, I think with that, I think that's all that I think that's a good
Awesome.
way to put a bow on it. And it's 11 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, but I don't sleep anyways. We'll see what's happening with Anaheim and Vegas shortly here. But
Yeah, what is the score in that one? Is the
it was 0-0 when I went in here, but
2-0 Anaheim.
okay, bouncing back.
Yeah.
John,
Nice.
yeah, John
That's a fun
Tortorella
team to
there.
watch, isn't it?
Yeah, because they kind of took the boots to Edmonton.
Anytime a team can beat up on Edmonton, I'm a happy man.
Yes. I have a guy that we haven't done the show in a while. I haven't done a show with him in forever, and I've tried to get him on. My buddy Shay who lives in BC, and we grew up in the '94 game. And yeah, he's a huge yeah. I mean, he named his kid after Trevor Linden. So what do you say, right?
Sounds like my nephew. He
Yes.
did the same thing. He's got three kids all named after different sports. It's like, seriously?
Right. Okay, my son's middle name may be named after Austin Matthews, but
I won't tell you where Jake got his name, but I am a wrestling fan, so that'll probably give you a hint.
oh yeah, Jake the Snake. Okay,
Yes.
good deal. Right on. Well,
Awesome, dude.
safe travels to Regina there on the 13th, and I know it's only Wednesday, but have a good weekend ahead.
You betcha. Thank you so much. This has
Yeah,
been
no
fun.
worries. Take care.